Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Last Son, and this is our Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling playthrough. Since I've kind of already done a video on CZCW, probably won't be going through the roster on this video. I'll probably just link it in the description that you guys can watch the CZCW journey through the Canalverse. Some of the things I'm planning on doing is I'm going to look for workers that have high consistency, safety, psychology, star quality, and just one primary skill that's pretty high. Some workers I want to push: Kira Lee, Carlos Barrera, Amy St. James, Altitude, Onslaught. Kind of also, look at our next big things and our hot prospects. So, as in terms of signings right now, I signed one person, which was Texas Hangman. He's going to debut here on our first show. And as you can see, I brought in quite a few people from our alliance. Blackfriar here is going to take on Frankie Perez for the COTT World Heavyweight title. And then the rest of these individuals are tag teams that are going to take on Sky Hermosa, Kira Lee, because I have brought back the COTT World Tag Team titles, and they're going to have a basically fatal four-way tag team match with the titles here on our first show. So we'll go ahead here, and this is my character, Jack Holder. Pretty good looking skill-wise. Pretty good charisma, star quality. That fundamental and physicals are good. So I chose him. We'll see how it goes. It's not going to be something I'm just going to push, Jack here to the moon. Let's add some people to our booking team. Add Fox, Mask, add Frankie Boy. Add Tigre Sabalhe Jr. And we'll add the Guru. Sandman Winks we're not going to add because he's on loan, so is the Historian. And Cliff I don't think we can add because he's the owner. So keep an eye out on maybe it's somebody else who could potentially fill that booking position for us. As far as our locker room leaders, we'll add Frankie. Johnny Perez is happy. We'll add Masked Cougar. We'll add Tigre Sabaje Jr. to give the original Fox Mask makes number 2 happy. Fills all those. Let's take a look here at our Chief Enforcers. We have Frankie. Add that. We'll just add Pee-wee Germain here as head of talent relations. Box Mask here as our senior road agent. Senior referee, Pee-wee Germain. Fox Mask is the male trainer. And I was thinking about either Frankie Boy Fernandez or Luis Montero Jr. being the trainer for the women. Let's do Frankie Boy. So right now I'm thinking either Amara or Air Raid, Siren, Juliet, Falcone, or Sky Hermosa. Let's do Sky. I like the professional personality. We're not going to fill a stooge right now. We do have some storylines. This one is called End of the Road. Masked Cougar is wanting that championship for one last run, and Frankie Boy Fernandez accepts this challenge. Right now it's going to be Frankie Boy and Masked Cougar. I do have some plans on potentially adding in maybe American Flash, Frankie Perez, other people into this as it kind of evolves. We have the tag team Turmoil. Basically, the Beach Boys are the champions. We're going to have the Inner City Express. We're going to have the Wildcats. We're going to have Sky Hermosa, Kira Lee, all these guys going after the tag teams titles. Then we have one based around our Extreme title. And this is going to be Carlos Burra basically defending it against these guys here that are on this list right now. And then we'll have matchups that are between these guys to kind of further this storyline along. Let's go ahead and get into our first event. Won't give anybody the night off. San Diego. Use Wrestle World. This setup generated 193 CE, which is pretty good. It's by a creative finish. By an angle. We'll give character idea. And I think we'll save the rest CE. It'll give us, less than 40, so that's fine. Locker room incidents. Otis von Battenberg was being obnoxious and eventually beat up Jay Becker after a fight broke out between them. Huey Germain chose to respond by fining him. Von Battenberg's very unhappy, but that's okay because he's pretty much going to be done after tonight anyways. So Amy St. James, Air Raid, Siren got into a kind of a fight. 7 students were trained by Frankie Boy Fernandez. 8 students were trained by Fox Mask. And we're going to try to meddle between Air Raid and Amy St. James. Okay, so I have booked 4 potential titles. I didn't want to book the COTT World Tag Team title yet because in case something happened to here in the beginning where it was like your equipment didn't show up, or one test save I did, Sandman and Historian, one of them showed up, the other one couldn't make it because his travel was halted and he was stuck somewhere, so I couldn't do the match with them. So that kind of sucked, and I didn't want to pre-book it just in case that happened. So we'll add this to the booking sheet here. We'll do 20 minutes. Frankie Boy will pick up the victory. May bring that down a little bit because I do want to have them try to steal the show. We'll have a called in the ring. Okay, we ended up having to do 15 minutes for that. We'll add Aldois Blackfriar. And before I do that, I need to come out of here and get these titles. Okay. Now I'll add Frankie and Aldois Blackfriar. Frankie will be getting the victory here. So this one, because the Extreme title has that stipulation where they can't be counted out or disqualified, no time limit, I made this a hardcore match. So that way we would get that stipulations. I don't think making it an actual hardcore, because it's not, we don't want it to be filled with weapons. We just want it to be that no disqualification, no count out. Potentially, could we go with a wild brawl? Barrera can do it. California Love Machine may not be able to. And finally, we'll add the first title defense of the show between the Beach Boys and the Inner City Express. And we'll have Chet Chavez pick up the victory. It's all the ones we pre-booked. Now let's come in here and we'll grab they're not actual members. They don't have their teams built in, but that's okay. I can add them in. Historian. Sandman Winks. And from our promotion, Kira Lee Sky, which I do believe is California Dreams. That was the name I couldn't remember earlier. So, auto name this the COTT World Tag Team title match. Make sure the tag team titles are attached to it. Kira is going to pick up the victory. Let's check. Need to steal the show match. I think I will make. I've already made this one to steal the show. 4-way match here, and instead of worrying about making Flash right now, we're going to make the will make this the #1 contender for the Extreme title. We'll let Luis Montero pick up the victory tonight. Actually, no, I think I'll change that to you to ask. I'll move the things around here. Come up with a. Let's put El Jaguar and Tigre Sabalhe Jr. in a match against American Flash. Johnny Perez. American Flash's team will get the victory. Okay, let's get another tag team match between the Gangster Nation versus the Apex Twins. That little bit of time. Waylon Walls can pick up the victory. What will be an open match, we'll script it. Okay, let's have. You want to have like altitude. Let's do a 3v3 of altitude. And we'll have Onslaught, Texas Hangman, take on Canto Negro, Swipe Romero, and Eureka LaBelle. We'll let Altitude get the victory. That'll get Texas Hangman his. But Thunderstruck with Cillian, and over here we'll put Jack, Fox, and Juliet Falcone. Down some, and let's let Juliet pick up the victory. Let's do Air Raid, Miguel versus Tony. And Miguel will pick up the victory. Okay. Now we want to add in Angle. Frankie Boy, who's going to start off in the ring, cutting a promo. That'll go on for a minute. I'll just do a generic. Save those details. Masked Cougar will come out. He'll cut a promo. He'll cut a promo. This will be match made for main event. We'll add in here the guru. We'll cut the promo. They'll be doing character development. Same thing here. Make that 3 minutes. Save. So the output for this segment is going to be Frankie Boy Fernandez is in the ring cutting a promo when Masked Cougar interrupts and wants a title shot. Cougar tells Frankie Boy that he knows his career is beginning to wind down and he wants one more run as champion. Frankie Boy accepts the challenge. The Cougar grabs the mic, tells the crowd, powers that be has made the match official for the main event. Go ahead here and try to give both guys a victory and make sure we advance. Then we'll have one post show where we'll just do a quick angle for this one. 3 minutes. Cutting a promo. And we'll do a stare down. Frankie Boy and Masked Cougar. Okay, so this is going to take place after the match, post-show. Frankie Boy Fernandez offers his hand out of respect to his beaten challenger. Masked Cougar kind of takes it, raises his hand, and then suddenly just hits Frankie Boy with a lariat, taking the champ down. He then grabs the CZCW Championship, holds it above the fallen Fernandez. It's like the boos from the crowd just cascade down. And he stands there with that title. And that's how the show will end. However, we do have 6 more minutes that we can add in another angle. I made notes here of who we want to talk. Okay, we'll have Frankie Perez cutting a promo. Aldois will come out. So basically, this one is going to be Frankie Perez is in the ring with the COTT World Heavyweight title. He's cutting a promo about who his next challenger will be. Suddenly, Aldois Blackfire, comes out to the ring from IPW, challenges Perez for the title. Says that CZCW is not the place for the COT World Heavyweight title, especially with fans like this. These fans are horrible. And IPW is obviously the only promotion that deserves that title. Look at that. Open the show with that. Let's give this one that creative finish. And let's give this the angle idea. Go ahead and start the show. This is CZCW Revolution, being held in front of 1,734 people in San Diego, California. We open the show with Aldois Blackfire and Frankie Perez. Frankie's in the ring, COTT World Heavyweight title on his shoulder. He's cutting a promo about who his next challenger is going to be. Suddenly, strange music hits. Crowd really doesn't know who it is, but now out steps Aldous Blackfriar from IPW. He's challenging Perez for the title, saying that CZCW is not the place for the COTT World Heavyweight title, especially with fans like these. He starts putting down the fans. Fans boo him. He says IPW has the best fans. Is the only promotion that deserves that title. Do open with a 49 segment. The angle idea was a success. Good start to the show. Move on to the next segment, which has Air Raid Siren taking on Miguel Rivera and Tony DeWonderful. And Rivera picks up the victory. He pins Tony DeWonderful with a shot in the dark. Wrestling rating of 42, crowd 21, segment of 47. Pretty good performances overall for all three of these guys. With Air Raid having a 40, Miguel 43, Tony 43. Pretty happy with that match. We have Cillian Catsby and Thunderstruck taking on Jack Holder, Fox Mask 2, and Juliet Balconi. And Jack Holder, Fox Mask 2, and Juliet Balconi pick up the victory when Balconi pins Catsby. Does get the note that Catsby was the weak link, struggling to keep up with everybody else. Wrestling rating of 35. Crowds kind of got brought down to a 12. Overall segment 42. We had Cillian with a 19. Ellie a 45. That's good to see. Amy a 42 is good to see. Juliet a 42. Fox Mask 2, 30. Jack got a 31 for my first, match. I did debut the All-American Boy gimmick. Got an initial rating of adequate. So it's basically just a standard gimmick, no pros and cons. Overall, pretty, I think, decent match. We then move into another trios match where Altitude, Onslaught, and the debuting Texas Hangman take on Viento Negro, Swipe Romero, and Eureka LaBelle. So this was a pretty good bout. Had pretty good wrestling. Crowd really wasn't in it. But we did see Altitude pick up the victory in 6 minutes, 10 seconds when he pins Viento Negro with a 720-degree splash. 40 wrestling rating, 13 crowd rating, 48 segment rating. Texas Hangman, look at that, debuts with a 48. Excellent debut. Onslaught with a 46, Altitude with a 23, Eureka 41, Swipe 43, Viento 41. We did get the Hangman gimmick was adequate. It was a small penalty to charisma during matches. Penalized for taking part in comedy. That's not going to be a problem. We're not going to use comedy or comedy relief. This, though, the small penalty to charisma during matches and angles may hurt. But all in all, really good debut. He was the performer of the match with that 48. So I'm really happy to see that. I think big things might be in store for Texas Hangman here in the CZCW. We then have Gangster Nation taking on the Apex Twins. So Gangster Nation defeated the Apex Twins in 6 minutes, 42 seconds when Waylon Walls pins Gabe Apex with a sidewinder. We did get 33 wrestling rating, 19 crowd rating, and a 40 overall segment rating. Waylon had a 38, Bullseye 42, Robbie 23, Gabe 28, Bullseye, Waylon. Robbie was off his game, and Gabe and Robbie apparently don't work together as a team. That's just, I hate when the database does this. They have like a team that's established, and they're like, nope, they don't work together as a team. So I don't know if that's something we'll just ignore and keep putting the Apex Twins together until they hopefully improve on that chemistry, or what we'll do. Maybe if it keeps up and they can't, get it together, I'll have to just do like a split and a feud between the two. We then have our angle with Frankie Boy Fernandez, Masked Cougar, and then the Guru coming out at the end. Frankie Boy Fernandez is in the ring. He's cutting a promo. Masked Cougar comes out, interrupts him, and he wants a title shot. Cougar tells Frankie Boy that he knows his Cougar's career is beginning to wind down, and he wants one more run as champion. Frankie Boy really respects Cougar. You can tell he does. He accepts the challenge. Guru grabs a mic to tell the crowd he just heard from the powers that be. The match is made official for the main event. They get a 54 overall segment, and it started out at 51, kind of dipped down to 49, and boosted back up to 52 for the end. Then we had the storyline actually start with this segment. Moving on here, we have the Wildcats taking on American Flash and Johnny Perez. American Flash picks up the victory, 7 minutes 55 seconds. He pins El Jaguar with a high velocity senton. 55 wrestling rating, 33 crowd rating, 53 segment rating overall. Tigre Sabalhe Jr. with a 60. Excellent performance. El Jaguar 54. Johnny Perez 45. American Flash 60. And you do see we get the note that the match was far too short because it had some important people in it. I'll have to keep that in mind. American Flash and maybe the Wildcats need potentially longer matches. We then get the number one contender for the Extreme title. Heartbreaker, Hugh to Ask, Luis Montero Jr. and Zal Quinn, all fighting together, trying to get the upper hand. And finally, Hugh to Ask pins Luis Montero Jr. with a cutthroat driver in 9 minutes 23 seconds. 46 wrestling rating, 22 crowd rating, 54 segment rating. Heartbreaker with a 39. Hugh to Ask 55. Luis Montero Jr. 43. Zal Quinn 47. Pretty good performances. I think Heartbreaker, if we check the dirt sheet, is probably in time decline. No, it's Luis Montero is declining physical ability. So that just might be the top part of his performances. So, but overall, really good. Started that storyline. We'll see how it rates after the show. We then move into the COTT World Tag Team Championship match between NYCW, IPW, MAL, and then CZCW. So this was a pretty good bout with some pretty good wrestling, but it does say that non-existent crowd heat. The California Dreams pick up the victory, 12 minutes 51 seconds. The elimination order was first Historian Sandman Wings went out, then Casey, Chuck Casey, Tully Casey's, the Caseys went out, and finally Otis Van Battenberg and Sasquatch McGraw were pinned. The California Dreams win the COTT World Tag Team titles. 43 wrestling rating. Crowd was a little bit down on it with 12. 53 rating overall. So Tully had a 37, Chuck 42, Sasquatch 47, Otis 33, Sandman 39, Historian 40, and then look at our team, Sky with a 51, and Kira led everybody with a 55. Excellent match performance from our team. Everybody else, pretty good performances as well. Otis is probably upset still from causing a fight, beating someone up, and getting fined. But he'll be out of here. These teams will kind of be out of here. We'll potentially bring in some teams in the future from these promotions one at a time to defend the COTT World Tag Team titles. Next, we move into the CZCW Tag Team Championship match, as we have the Beach Boys defeating Inner City Express 10 minutes 8 seconds when Chet Chavez pins Jay Becker with a beach break. That's defense number 3 of the titles for the Beach Boys. Wrestling rating 45, crowd rating 24, segment rating 54. We had Chet with a 35, Simon 47, Leak 43, Jay 53. Tag team turmoil kicked off. Chet was off his game. Looks like Willow and Simon have a good chemistry, but Chet and Willow are a very poor combination. They don't click at all. So that might be something. We definitely, if we have Chet here in singles matches, Willow probably should not come out with him. We may need to fix that after the show. And then in our Extreme title defense, Carlos Barrera takes on California Love Machine. Good wrestling, decent reaction from the crowd. Carlos Barrera picks up the victory over California Love Machine in 15 minutes 9 seconds after a Curb Your Enthusiasm. And now he has made defense number 2 of the Extreme title. 56 wrestling rating, 35 crowd rating, 59 overall rating. Carlos with a 61, California Love Machine with a 50. We had the To the Extreme storyline advanced and gained heat with this match. Really good match. Happy with this performance. Happy with both guys' performance. Pretty good bout. We then have Aldous Blackfire versus Frankie Perez for the COTT World Heavyweight title. And Frankie Perez overcomes Blackfire in 15 minutes 15 seconds with a submission with the P clutch. This is defense number 5 of that heavyweight title. We got a 64 wrestling rating, 42 crowd, 65 overall segment, 63 performance from Aldous. Frankie with a 65. We do get the note that the match was a little too short for an important match, so we may need to up that time. And I assume our next match, will have that same notation because it's going to be Frankie Boy versus Masked Cougar. Hopefully, it doesn't get outshined by this match right here. Masked Cougar taking on Frankie Boy Fernandez in our main event. It's about to have great wrestling, good heat. Frankie Boy picks up the victory over Masked Cougar in 14 minutes 42 seconds after a dirt nap. We did design it so it could steal the show. Frankie Boy makes defense number 1 of the Coastal Zone Championship. 62 wrestling rating, 46 crowd rating, 66 overall rating. Masked Cougar had a performance of 58. Frankie Boy with a 66. We had the storyline advanced and gained heat of the end of the road. That creative finish was a success. We did get to note the match was a little too short, so we may need to adjust that when we have those COT World titles, these 2 titles. Give these guys a little bit more time, maybe 20 minutes. That'll take away the ability, I think, to steal the show, but it might get us better ratings because the match will be longer in the eyes of our audience. Put that next segment as after the match, Frankie Boy offers his hand to Masked Cougar, tries to help him up. Masked Cougar takes his hand, raises Frankie Boy's hand, kind of like working the crowd. Then suddenly Animalia pulls him into him, slams him with the lariat, takes the champ down, grabs that title, holds it above the fallen Fernandez. The boos are just like raining down from the crowd. That's how we end our first pay-per-view with a 54. Overall, 58 rating. Raised our popularity 18 regions. The show did appear worse because of our productions, but I don't know how much right now we'll be able to even fix that. It's something we'll look at, in the future. Go ahead and finish the show. We'll adjust the locker room. Frankie Boy definitely getting a shout out. Frankie Perez. And we'll do Masked Cougar. All of them are pleased. We did make $13,675. The workers probably cost a lot more because we had some people come in from outside the company that we're not going to use. So we had to pay them their show fee and an admin fee. So that potentially will come down. We'll have hopefully a COT World Heavyweight title, and then we'll have the tag team defenses on the next show. No popularity gains on this show currently, but we are going in the right direction. Make sure there's no mail. There's some mail here. Some people obviously are gone. 23,000 viewers approximately. We have some offers. I delete those. But we have 33 days until our next pay-per-view. We'll build some new matches, potentially see where the heavyweight and world tag team for the COD is. Still with our guys, we'll have some people come in and defend it against them. And we'll work our way up the ranks. So if you guys have any thoughts, ideas about some things I could potentially do with CZCW, leave those in the comments. I love seeing them. Tell me what you guys thought of our first show. And while you're there, please give the video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. It does help us. It helps YouTube push content out to people that might enjoy this and get some visibility on the channel. But I'm Last Son. This has been the Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling save with TW9. Keep playing, stay awesome, and I'll see you in our next video.